Today, I'm joining a flower hub. What's a flower hub? How do they work? Well, come along with me and we'll see how it goes. And if you're new to the channel, you're very welcome. Please do subscribe, press the bell icon, and we'll tell you when we've got more clips coming up. And if any of the tips and tricks I give you along the way are useful, you can always join my club, which is where all the fun happens. So the club details are in the blurb to all my clips. And if you do generally follow and love to see the clips, please do subscribe, because the algorithm doesn't show you otherwise when I've got another clip coming up. And sometimes I get messages from people saying, I haven't seen you for ages, but I'm here to tell you, I post a clip most weeks. So you can always look me up and make sure that you're up to date with what we're posting. But better still, subscribe, and then you'll be told when we've got more clips, especially if you press that bell icon. Right, let's get on. So the first thing I've got to do is decide what I'm not going to sell. I'm going to list all the material I've got spare for Christmas with the Southwest Flower Growers Collective. You can find the Flower Growers Collective online, and you'll find that there are, I think this year there are 5 hubs, and next year there will be 10. And all the hubs are growing because the market for locally grown flowers has erupted. Thanks to many years of hard work by not just yours truly, but many of us working hard on social media and across all the platforms that we can to make people aware that there are local flower farms growing local flowers, and that a really good reason to buy from us is that a bouquet grown in your local flower farm compared to one made with imported flowers has 20 times less carbon emissions associated with it. And I would argue that actually sustainably growing flowers for harvesting for a market, so long as we're doing it sustainably, is a net positive for the environment. So it's not even carbon sequestration. It is, or, eco, just because it uses less carbon than an imported flower. What we do actually is a net positive for the environment. That's so long as we grow without pesticides and herbicides. Anyway, that's a whole nother subject. But today we're talking about joining the hub. So I'm joining my local Southwest Flower Growers Collective. I've been buying from them through the summer, and they've been great. The quality's been very high. They've been very helpful. It's a small collective of like-minded growers who are really keen for their customers to be able to do well with what they offer for sale. So they are really making it possible for people like me, who is also a florist. I'm a florist and a flower farmer, so sometimes I need a top up. And I think I've bought from them 3 or 4 times over the summer, and they were really, really great. So encouraged, it's time for me to sell with them. So I'm stepping up to be one of their growers. So what am I doing? First of all, I'm going to make sure that I don't list for sale the material that I've already sold for other projects. So for example, this and a little bit more is all going to be put to one side for a particular project, which I've already have a booking for. And I also have a Christmas wreath workshop. And I mustn't sell all the lovely dried material that I would need for that. So I'm putting all of that to one side. But once I've got a really good idea of my stock, I'm going to be able to list it on their portal for florists to go in and buy. And the idea of us all being a collective is that, for example, a lot of small scale growers don't have huge amounts of stock, but we're often growing pretty much the same stuff. So if we all, the local growers, list our material on the same website, then one florist can go in and buy all of our white statues, for example. Say they need an enormous amount for a winter wedding. Say they need 500 stems of white statues. I might not have 500 stems, my friend might not have 500 stems, my other neighbour might not have 500 stems, but between us, yes, we might have 500 stems. And so then the florist can go into one place and order all of that white statice for their special project. Now that's why the hubs are such a good idea, because it enables small growers to find a bigger market and sell to more people than they would be able to if they were just acting on their own. And this is what I've been saying for years, that flower farmers, small-scale flower farmers, are not each other's competition. We are each other's colleagues. It's a fact. Here we are, living proof. Right, so I'm going to start collating all my material, do my stem count, work out how many bunches I've got, and I've also got to photograph what I'm going to have for sale on their website, so that each time I list something, there's a picture so people can see what I'm talking about. Because not all florists know what I'm talking about. I have got, for example, really a lovely lot of this. This is, I'm not selling this bunch because obviously I've been cutting bits out of it, but to show you what it is, this is Leonora Sibirica motherwort. And as you can see, it dries beautifully into this lovely golden colour. Perfect for Christmas decorations and using in Christmas wreaths and big installations. So I've got lots of it. So I'm going to count up how many bunches I've got, make sure they're beautifully tied up, photograph them and add them to my page on the Southwest Flower Grower Collective website platform. Right, on we go. So I've put aside the material I'm going to need for my wreath classes, for any pre-orders I've taken for Christmas from my private clients and so on, and I've kept that to one side. And then what I've done is I've gone through all the other dried material, I've counted the bunches of 10 of everything that I've got, and now I'm going to photograph it. So this is 10 bunches of 10 stems of white statice. And I'm going to photograph it against this door because then you can see very clearly what it is. And it should show up quite nicely. And I've gone through the bunches so I know how many I've got that I can put onto the website for sale. And it's kind of easy because once I've taken an okay picture, I will spend a minute to make sure that it's an okay picture. I mean, this is not done yet. I'm quickly telling you what I'm doing and then I'm going to take the picture. But if I spend a minute taking an okay picture, then, and I load it onto the hub my page on the hub, then that picture is there for next year, the year after, the year after. I'm building a stock of images which I can use again and again, which is going to make life much, much easier. So it feels like a lot of work for this first process, but actually every time I add more material to the hub going forward for the rest of my life as a grower, I can use stock photographs that I've taken before rather than having to re-photograph and upload. So I can search my page on the hub to see if there's already a picture. So this is the only time I'll ever need to take a picture of white statice. So it's worth really styling it a little bit and making it look nice, because then it's there for me if I'm selling through the hub, and who knows what's going to happen tomorrow. But, you know, if I'm selling through the hub in years to come, I've got a good picture of white statice. And you can do this for all of the different kinds of products that you might be selling for the hub, if you're using a hub setup. And I have just, no, never mind. Yeah, I've just spoken to another flower growing colleague who is in the process of setting up a hub herself. And I think for the clubbers, next term, in the spring term 2026, hopefully we'll have a live session. Somebody said they would like to know more about setting up hubs, and I don't know how to set them up. I'm just pot taking. So I thought it'd be quite good to have a live chat on one of our club lives with somebody who has set a hub up and is in the process of making it work. So I've asked one of my colleagues on the Flowers from the Farm board to come and talk to us, because I think it'd be interesting. Everything's interesting. I'm always interested. I'm really enjoying doing this. It's really good it's a good discipline to have to look at your material, make sure it's, really tidy, and really make an effort. I'm a bit lazy and I tend to just have a lot of stuff lying around over Christmas, and I kind of use it up. And when I'm bored with it after Christmas, I burn it. But actually, let's try and sell it. Look at that. Look at that. Isn't that a gorgeous colour? I love the Orangium. And here is the Leonora's Sibirica. It's, just so glorious. I've got masses of it. So I'm going to put that up for sale. Isn't that great stuff? Look at it. It's golden. Look at the colour. Isn't that wonderful? Imagine that in your Christmas decorations. Oh, yes. And these pink pokers had an incredible year. They dry so, aren't they gorgeous? Aren't they fab? Right, I've got to finish now and get it all uploaded because I've got my second of my 3 Christmas wreath and tablescaping demos in an hour or so, and so I've got to get ready for that. But I think this is a really great way for us to collaborate as flower growers, flower sellers, and florists going forward. I'm keen to have a go. I don't know if I'll sell anything, but we'll see. We'll see. I think it's good to put my spares up. I'm not going to put my whole crop up because I've got some other commissions that need working on. But as a trial, I think as flower growers, it's really worth having a go at all the options. Instead of saying, no, I work like this, and that's fine for me, which of course you can do. You can do what you like. I'm always keen to say, well, I'll have a go. And if it doesn't work and it's a waste of time and it hasn't sold anything and I find it's expensive and hard to maintain, then I won't do it. But if, on the other hand, I find I pick up some nice new business on the side, then waste not, want not. That's what I say. I am a little time poor at the moment, which is why this clip. I started making this clip last week and it really needs to go live tomorrow because otherwise I'm going to get really behind, and I try and post once a week. So this is what happens when you're overcommitted and you've had a good idea. So I had a meeting with my neighbour who runs the Southwest Flower Growers Collective. I had a meeting with my neighbour nearly 3 weeks ago to get this all done. So it's a good idea, but again, just remember how much time you've got and don't overcommit. I'm too rushed at the moment, but I'm glad I've made the time to make this clip, and I hope you've enjoyed it. And maybe you'll be inspired to see if you've got a hub nearby that you could buy from or that you could sell to. And club members, I will have a session next term about setting up a hub with my Flowers from the Farm board member colleague who knows all about it, much more about it than I do. And it won't be a Southwest hub because I think it's nice to talk about places which are not always based around common farm flowers. Anyway, thanks very much for watching, everybody. If you haven't subscribed, please do. And club members, watch out for more on this subject anon. Thanks very much. Bye-bye.